we come from a very homosexual era of hip hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle. There were many situations, none of which to talk about, but there were many situations back in the day in my career, and it's all coming full circle now.
The truth behind Wendy Williams and Diddy's feud. Was Wendy right about Diddy? Wendy Williams was dropping bombs on her radio show, calling out some of the biggest names in hip-hop. She wasn't just a talk show host, she was the queen of spilling the tea. And let's be real, nobody was safe from her sharp tongue, especially not Jay-Z and Diddy. Wendy built her career by talking about what everyone else was too scared to bring up, and that definitely made her a few enemies.
Story, because I thought about Wendy so much yesterday.
Everybody did. The whole world did.
And that's what I'm saying. That story came out, and then some old picture of me and Wendy started going viral.
I seen that picture.
Yeah.
And then everybody was talking about her, and I was like, damn, man. I worked with Wendy for a few years, and a lot of things that we've seen over the past, several years, I heard all of these stories about all these people on air and off air. The off air ones was even better. And it just had me thinking, well, what did Wendy lie about? Because there was so many things she told me about people that have come to pass.
She told you about the 1,000 bottles?
She really was a one-on-one, okay? Because she would get actual information, and there is so many things she didn't report. I watched her say,
back in the day, Wendy Williams hinted at some shady stuff going on with these two music moguls. Whether it was about Diddy's wild parties or the allegations surrounding Jay-Z's personal life, Wendy didn't hold back. And now, with all of Diddy's recent legal troubles, it seems like her words might have been more than just gossip. Stick around to find out just how much Wendy knew and why we might need to give her credit for being ahead of the curve.
Wrong with that. I'm shocked that you and Cassie have gone this far. Like the distance. What is it about her that,
I mean, it's just like when a record comes on, the way she moves.
Yeah.
Like when I look at her, the way she smiles. The way I see her look at me sometimes when I wake up and she's already awake,
And the Met Gala, what the sitting on the steps was going on? What is going on here?
I'm gonna be honest, like, they didn't have my tickets right the year before, so I said I'm gonna stun on them and sit on the stairs as my woman looks good and takes those pictures.
When it came to Diddy, Wendy wasn't just spilling tea, she was exposing some of the biggest secrets in the industry. Long before the recent scandals and lawsuits surrounding Diddy, Wendy was already sounding the alarm. Diddy was one of her frequent targets, often hinting at his secret life and touching on things that at the time were only whispered about in the industry. Wendy suggested that Diddy had a dark side that most people weren't aware of. While the media largely turned a blind eye, her show became a space where these uncomfortable truths were laid bare, and Diddy was one of the main people she focused on. One of the most chilling moments that revealed Diddy's true character came during a 2009 interview on Wendy's radio show.
Puffy, you had me speeding through numerous traffic lights, doing in a nightclub. You remember, you had me do the perp walk and spend a few hours in jail? Die!
Wendy also had a lot to say about Diddy's long-term relationship with Cassie. For many years, she voiced concerns about the power dynamics in their relationship, suggesting that Diddy had too much control over Cassie. Wendy's observations about the unhealthy nature of their relationship were dismissed by many at the time. However, fast forward to today, and a recent video of Cassie addressing her experiences with Diddy brings all of Wendy's old claims into the spotlight. Cassie had previously accused Diddy of behaviors that confirmed many of the troubling patterns Wendy had pointed out. Her past lawsuit sheds light on the power imbalance that Wendy had been speaking about for years, and it's clear now that Wendy wasn't just speculating, she had a keen sense of what was happening behind closed doors.
My thing about when you date a mogul is that it's really difficult to avoid them, because if you use your head, you never know when they're gonna pop up on the scene. Like, he's mogul, like he can hire a plane right now, zoom it to South Africa, land on the roof of the hotel where she's staying, okay? Pay people off at the front desk, give me the key and let me up in her room. Like, I'm already paranoid.
Wendy's outspokenness came with serious consequences. Diddy wasn't just angry, he actively tried to silence her. After Wendy exposed certain truths about him, Diddy allegedly worked behind the scenes to blackball her. Wendy has openly discussed how Diddy used his influence in the industry to try to ruin her career, attempting to get her off the air. For a while, it seemed like he might succeed. But Wendy, being the fighter she is, refused to back down. One of the most notorious incidents involving Diddy's attempt to silence Wendy occurred when the girl group Total, who were signed to Diddy's Bad Boy Records, showed up at Wendy's studio. According to Wendy, the group was sent under Diddy's orders to confront her. She has claimed that the group almost attacked her, and the situation escalated to the point where security had to step in. It was clear that Diddy wanted to intimidate her into silence, but even after that, Wendy didn't back down. She continued to speak out, and now, as more details about Diddy's past come to light, it's becoming clear that Wendy was right to be suspicious all along.
On a time, there was a music mogul who sent his all-girl group to beat my ass in front of the radio station. Fact. And I finished my air. Oh God. Anyway, I finished my shift, wound up my headphones, put my bag in the crook of my arm, and see everybody lined up at the window looking down on the sidewalk. But look, I'm like, why is everybody looking down at the sidewalk? I mean, noses were pressed to the glass. And I get downstairs and find this girl group jump out of a gypsy cab to come after me, to kick my ass. And I'm like, for what? You know what I said was true. You all are broke and you were living in the projects. And that was that.
And there you have it, the untold truth behind Wendy Williams and her long-standing feud with Diddy. While many dismissed her claims at the time, it's becoming more evident that Wendy was onto something. She wasn't just spilling gossip, she was exposing some of the darkest secrets in the entertainment industry. Despite the backlash and attempts to silence her, Wendy stood her ground, and now her words are proving more relevant than ever. Whether you love her or hate her, there's no denying that Wendy Williams has always had her finger on the pulse of the industry, and we might owe her some credit for speaking up when no one else would. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of celebrity secrets.